Should I stay or should I go?
Have you ever been this close to quitting something that you loved? Maybe it was your job. Maybe it was a hobby that you did for a long time. Maybe it was even a relationship. Well, 2 months ago, I was sitting in this exact spot contemplating whether after 8 years, it was time for me to quit YouTube. I literally thought I was done for real. And as the days turned into weeks of me kind of thinking and contemplating about this, something happened that stopped me. So here's the thing. I did not plan on going away for this long. I was on a trip in June for a good chunk of June. And then, July is a little bit slower, and I thought, well, I'm going to still get back to it. But here's the thing. I was burned out. Not just like I'm kind of tired, going to take a little break. No, I'm talking I would go into Walmart and I didn't even care to look at the clothes. Didn't even want to look. That is not me. Burnout is real for all of us in whatever area in your life. And it's sneaky because it comes up on you quietly just when you think things are going great and you feel good and you're just kind of going through the motions and you're happy, okay? You're chugging along. And all of a sudden, it just hits you all at one time. No one talks about how heavy it can get, how uninterested you can become in that thing that you were doing that you once really loved. And you're like, why? Why do I feel this way? I'm sure you've been at some point in the same predicament. You even start questioning like everything. I started thinking, am I even good at this? Does anyone even care? Is what I'm doing even helping anybody? Yeah, it can get dark. So if you have watched any of the videos that I put out in April especially, all this stuff started in the spring. And instead of realizing what was going on at that point and really taking the break that I needed, I continued to keep going, and I should have listened to my inner gut, basically. When you get that inside telling you, you need to slow down. You need to take a step back a little bit. But you keep pushing through because you don't want to let anybody down. You think, oh, I just feel a little bit tired. It's not a big deal. I'll just keep going. And, you kind of have one foot in the future and one foot in the past. You're not allowing yourself to actually take the break that you need. You are procrastinating because you're just like not really making the solid decision, to give yourself what you need at that time. And I kept burning and churning because, in your mind, you get to the point where you feel like YouTube can only be done one way successfully. Because you look at what everybody else is doing, you're like, well, why am I having such a problem? They don't seem to be having a problem, getting 2 videos out a week and being able to consistently do that. But, before you compare yourself to other people, you have to realize that everyone's life is different. Everyone has different energy levels. They have different things going on in their life behind the screen. And I just can't do that. I just can't sustain that. And in that whole bent thinking process, I lost my motivation. I lost my energy. I totally lost interest in fashion. So here's something. Here's a gold nugget you can take away from my experience this whole spring of going through this reflecting and contemplating about a situation that comes to your forefront that you're like, I don't really know what to do with this. Starting over with whatever it is, after or in our ages, okay, after 50, your 60s or 70s, whatever it is, it really isn't a crisis. We make it that way in our minds. We make it really important. And I'm not trying to discount it. Things are very important to us, but we put a lot of weight on ourselves. And putting that weight on ourselves makes it, amplifies it even more. So it's not a crisis, it's an opportunity to look at where you are in life, where you want to go, and even what you need in life now. Maybe it's a little different than it used to be. Maybe your values have changed a little bit and you have to kind of work yourself and your life into these changing values as we age. And then you got to move forward from there. And I'm not saying it's not going to be scary, okay? It is scary. But you have to move past that fear and really find out what is going on inside. Is it, I need to walk away from what I was doing? Is it, I need to tweak it because how I was doing it wasn't working? That was the problem. So I hate to admit this, but it really took me between 4 and 5 months to really pick up the pieces from feeling this way and dealing with it and deciding what I'm doing here. I needed to be able to step back, look at the things that I have going on in my life and say, are those things bringing me joy in my life? Or am I doing them for some reason out of guilt, out of pressure? Or maybe you just find out that you're just doing things in your days that are just draining you and not filling your cup with joy. You know, it's interesting because not only could we find ourselves in a situation where we are drained by what we're doing, but also be careful with the people that you have in your life. I have had some situations in the past where it just was not good situations. If you have a friend who is condescending to you, and, you know, maybe when that first starts and they're just like, oh, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean to say that. But that kind of thing keeps continuing, red flag. If you have someone where every time you get together with them, it is drama about their job, drama about the people in their life. And it's just all this negative energy, right? And you leave feeling way more drained than when you first got together with them. It's like you just want to go and have fun. Then there's a friend that you might have that every time you get together, it is only all about them. They don't ask you any questions. Even if you just took some fantastic trip that is a trip of a lifetime, nothing. All it is you sit down and they're just going to tell you all about what's been going on with them. Back from that tangent. So what changed for me? I mentioned in the video title and at the beginning, something stopped me from walking away from YouTube. 2 things. One has to do with expectations compared to reality. A lot of times when we expect things to go a certain way, and they don't, we make ourselves wrong, we make the situation wrong, and we just have this internal turmoil, right? We don't know really what to do with it. And like I mentioned, it was finally coming to the realization that I just needed to tweak things. I just needed to change things to make it better for myself. I didn't need to walk away. And number 2, you. After you probably figured, where the heck is Angela? I haven't seen her in a while. I started getting comments. I started getting messages on Instagrams, emails, not only saying,
hey, when you're coming out with your next haul?
It was things like, you have helped me so much gain confidence in myself and the way that I dress, and just very touching comments that made me feel like what I was doing was making a difference, at least for someone, you know? Um, and the whole reason I started this channel in the first place is because I love to share. When I find great deals or when I find clothing pieces that I'm like, oh my God, I love this thing, I need to share it. It's like, you guys are my girlfriends, and I found this amazing thing that I think is great. And so I feel like I want to share it with you. So it was you. It was you guys that reminded me that I am helping someone. And whether it's one person, two people, it's somebody. And you reminded me of what I even started this channel for in the first place. So I have to thank you all for that. That all being said, what is going to change? What are you going to see changing here? Okay. What have I decided I need to do to make this still all work for me? The first thing is I can no longer do 2 videos a week on my channel. I cannot do it. Okay. If I go back to that, you need to start putting in the comment section, yelling at me for doing that, because I'm going to end up in the same situation, burnt out, and then I need, months to recover, and you're not going to see me at all. So please, if you see me start doing that, you need to be like, Angela, mental health, okay? So starting out, I'm going to try for the fall doing no more than 2 videos a month. I know going down to only 2 videos a month is depressing, especially if you really enjoy watching the videos that I create. But I hope you won't leave. I hope you'll stick around and that you'll really appreciate the extra work that goes into those couple videos a month. Now, that being said, I'm probably going to put some shorts out as well. Those don't take as long to film, edit, and get uploaded as a normal video does. And I'm really going to focus on the meat of what I know you guys like. And if I decide like I've got a little bit more energy, I'm going to throw another one in that month, then great, okay? But that's where I'm going to start. And we'll see as things go if something needs to be adjusted or I can handle more at that point. So because of that, if you're one of these people who love watching my channel, but for some reason have not subscribed yet, you may want to do that so that when I upload a video, you're going to get notified whenever that is. Now, for videos like this, it might not make a big difference, but where you will miss out is, let's say, Walmart, okay? Walmart is one of those things that when those videos go out, if you actually want to try to get your hands on those things, you need to be on the ball and act, because their stuff, it can drive you nuts, but they sell out quickly. That's going to be my next video. It's going to be a Walmart haul. And it's going to be all the great new fall stuff coming out, so you're not going to want to miss that. If you've ever had a time in your life where you felt like you almost walked away from something that you had loved, will you please leave me a comment? I want to hear your story about what it was that you almost walked away from and what you realized that made you stay. Topics like this really hit home for a lot of us. After 50, sometimes you start just really kind of questioning some things in your life, and just knowing that it's okay, to reevaluate what is being put in your day, your week, who you're spending your time with. Until I see you next time, you stay beautiful on the inside and out.